Alright, let's get this over to the proper side. Silly of me to begin live streaming already, but that was my bad. Okay. Not much light on me, but I don't think there are. That's not as horrible as it sounds, probably. Cool. So, today I'm going to be drawing as well as rigging. Let's just going to check something real quick while I let this populate in here, if there's going to be multiple people. Right in here. Hey guys, go ahead and comment and ask me anything. Booyah. I'll just find my stats here real quick and see what's going on. Cool. Okay, so first things first, this is just going to be a foot of this Wendigo coming down. Actually, not even coming down. This one's going to be leaving the ground, I think. So I'm going to do a little sketch animatic, and I think I'm going to do it about 4 seconds. So we're going to go to like 96 frames. Come on, aren't you? There we go. 96 frames. Zoom in just a little bit. No, maybe not. And I am going to make a layer. It's going to be a frame by frame on frame 0, of course. I'm going to drop a frame by frame because I'm just going to sketch a little drawn, frame by frame animation here. So I'm just going to start out here at a frame, and I think the foot is going to be pretty much here, here. I'm going to put a toe section and maybe a, claw kind of thing. I'm just going to do this really super quick and silly. There we go. And then the ground, of course, will be here. And I think for the ground, I'm going to go ahead and make another layer. That way, we know where this ground will be all the time. So I'm going to put ground. I highly recommend doing this way. And then I'm just going to make probably a line that gives me an idea of what the ground is. Back on our animatic, let me switch my tools. Something is not catching up here. Let me go and select my layer 1. There we go. Back on the animatic here. That's our frame 1. It's not yellow. It just looks that way because I have my colors set to be yellow. I was doing a lot of stuff on dark backgrounds, and there you go. Cool. All right, so we're going to move over here to the next position, which I know, and I'm not going to pick the timing here yet. I also suggest making your key poses and then adjusting the timing. So on this particular frame, I'm going to make this foot sort of come from here. I don't know why we're not, oh, I do, because I did not make another frame. So right here, we'll add a new frame, and we can add our onion skinning if we want. And this one, though, is going to have our toe kind of still on the ground, and we're going to lift the foot up kind of like if it was, the foot kind of came up here. This is really badly drawn, but point is we're going to get the motion. So it's going to go from here to here, I'm going to draw another frame here that's going to be the toe kind of tip before it leaves the ground. So this will be kind of a bent toe. I know it's horrible. And then the foot is going to wind up being kind of up here somewhere. We could copy and paste this over. It probably would have been a better idea. And then obviously this will be kind of like, you know, doing this kind of thing. So it'll go from here to here to here, and then it will be gone. So in between those now we can draw a new frame. We'll get our before and after set up here. And on this frame, get rid of these. There we go. We're now going to draw, that's the before. This is going to be, we need to move our after over. There we go. So we'll draw one right in the between of this. This is just going to give me timing and whatnot. Okay, so that's our new frame. This will be somewhat in the middle. Obviously the same toe. The foot will be here midway. And then the leg's going to be, like I say, kind of somewhere between here and here. And the back of the leg is going to be somewhere between here and here. If that makes any sense. So we're going to get, you know, boom, 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 boom. So we turn off the onion skinning and you can kind of see it a little bit better. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, you can draw your in-betweens however you feel like they need to go. Then we can adjust the timing on these if we want. So I'm just going to kind of say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi would be the out frame. And I'm going to put that one right about here where there's essentially nothing. I'm going to put a little dot where it kind of takes that keyframe. And I'm going to move, let me just play this and see what happens. One. So those need to happen a little closer together. And we might even wind up making that first frame. We might even set the foot down to where it can be a little bit longer. I think it's a good idea. So let's just go ahead and move this one over, move these guys over. They do need to be closer together anyway. And I think at this point, this frame should be obviously the foot hitting the ground. So, and before that, we need a foot that's going to be coming down to the ground. So I'm going to make another frame. Turn on the onion skinning again, and this is essentially where we're gonna wind up to that frame. We just need to make a foot that's going to come into this position now. So perhaps it needs to, I think, be a little bit of I'm just going to draw it and move it when it makes some sense. So like to here, maybe to here, and then of course this is going to be higher and back. It's going to come from here, and then from here we need a drawing of this foot higher. So what we're going to do is go to this frame. I'm going to circle all my points here, copy that. I think you can duplicate the frame actually, so now that I think about it, let's just do a copy, and then we'll paste it as the first frame here. Then I'll move this one up. Hello, why don't you paste? Probably because this one is the first frame and we don't really want it to be. I'm just going to let me add a frame here. Yes, it does. And we need to make sure this is also the starting layer start time. Boom. Okay, but I don't understand why we're not seeing it. probably because there's nothing in this layer. So we're going to paste that in, and that doesn't seem to work. Let's go to the frame and now try it. Different. Okay. So what I will do is reverse engineer that. We're going to move this one back over. Of course, that was originally the first. Is that even working? It is. And I am a little confused at what's happening here. Ah, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one. Go ahead and... does that work? Looks like it does. And then we'll change the first one here by grabbing everything and moving it up. So that should be how that's done. I need to add another line there, obviously, for the shin, but let's pull this up. I'm going to angle this even farther down, kind of like this kind of thing. It's going to come in from the side and settle. And I think drawing-wise, let's go ahead and give this a shin. And then the next one, turn off our end skinning, also needs that sort of shin. It's awful, but you know, you get the idea. That's the point of it. Let's see just what our timing is on that. Okay, so now we work on the timing. That's obviously way too spread out in the beginning. We'll check that out. Not bad. Let's leave the toes on the ground a little longer and make the exit a little quicker. Let's see what we get here. So it comes in, boom, boom, and then doot, doot, doot. So that's better. We could even start the decline a little later. We can even okay, so let's draw an in-between now between these two frames. We got the beginning and the end here. Put one about here. I'm going to create a frame and then now draw an in-between. It's a really weird thing mentally for me to draw these in-between frames. You have to kind of stay in between all the stuff. So between this green and this green is going to pretty much be, you know, still here. And then this between the red and green here, about right. And then the feet top, it's going to be between this one and this one. So about, that one's going to be more about here. Yeah. And then of course our toes can be somewhere here, here. It's going to get uglier as I go. It's just the way it is. And like I said, whatever's wrong I'll fix, but turn off the onion skinning. Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's just see what we got timing wise. I could have done this with stick figures, and it's how I was going to do it, but I figured a little bit of a volume wouldn't kill anything. Okay. So get these a little tighter there. And that's how I like to work on timing. And if you pre-map it like this, you can kind of set your whole animation up for your timing in advance. Okay, and I'm thinking even moving all these over Going like so, adding a frame right here in the beginning again, putting a dot so we have something, and then this will go boop, 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 boop. So we'll start there. So now we're going to draw the actual shapes for this foot. So given my, and I'm going to see about, yeah, so I'm going to have to adjust this as I go. This is going to be the main foot, body of the foot, and I'm just going to make a rectangle out of this. I know it's going to seem very strange, but this is going to give me my pieces that I need also to sort of animate and keep my volumes and all that kind of stuff too. It's a completely different way of doing things. And so frame 0, that's fine. Let's just have that as the main foot. We will have to rig this as we go as well, so I'm going to make another one. This will be called the ankle or the leg, you know, ankle leg, and we'll do another one something like this, and then I'm going to make one for my toe 1. We could add more if we need that, I guess, you know, or whatever, but toe 1, let's go with another toe 2. So in toe 1, I'm just going to do a little blocks here. Toe 2 is going to be another one, kind of like here, and I'm gonna just stick with that for now. Now I'm going to come over forward and see where these kind of land, especially right here. 48. Now we can move my spots around. So now that I have an ankle, and let's go ahead and get that guy centered on the source of that part. I'll move this over to essentially, you know, the angle, where it's at. I have toe and thing almost laid out perfectly without, you know, just guessing at it. So this will be our nail essentially. This will be the toe where it meets. And then of course the good old main foot, which we'll put, you know, right about here. So we will be changing the shape of these, but until then I'm going to go ahead here to the leg, and I'm going to move these pieces around like this. The foot, just want to establish what is the shape of this thing, and I think that's good for starting. Now I'm going to go and grab the entire thing without the ground, of course, and right click, and we're going to group these together, if it's going to let me. I'm not on frame 0, that would be why. Oops. We're going to grab all these guys for each one of my shapes because I did them on the wrong frame. Oh, you idiot. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's go back here and readjust my shape. I'm real smart like that. I'm going to have to test it and move back, test it and move back kind of thing. We want the ankle. Put it right about here. I know, just for saving some time, I'm going to go ahead and shape this a little better. And then the foot is going to be just backed up a little bit. And I think that's going to be fine for the second. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab all these guys. Right click. Group these together. Call these foot, leg, whatever you want. And then this is going to be converted to a bone layer. So anything that goes in here can be affected by the bones, but we're also going to draw our bones on this layer. So starting out, we're going to make a root bone somewhere up here. Then I'm going to draw a bone from that root bone down to our ankle, down to our, essentially our toe area, and then if we wanted to, the toe and a separate nail, which I think will be good because we can roll those off of each other pretty nicely. Then we need to bind the stuff to it. So I'm not going to do layer binding because that's going to make us have to undo that later on. So what I am going to do is come here to main foot, and I'm going to take that main foot and let's reshape it real quick to some degree, just give it a little better shape. You're like, but Sean, I don't understand. It's okay, you will. Right now I'm just kind of coming through here and making this not suck so much. This is to give it some roundness so it can pivot and spin on that, you know, specific joint here. And then we'll go to the leg. Do the same thing. I'm just going to add a point here for sure. Possibly, yeah, we're going to spread that one out to make it round. Looks good. Trying to do the same thing probably to these toes. This is going to be the claw. The claw. So we're going to come in and maybe just round all of them off to start with. Cool. And I'll move some select few points. Okay, and then we'll add another one to kind of start shaping our little claw out. This is just approximation for the moment. Then the toe, probably the same treatment. Let's go ahead and smooth it out a bit. And then the ankle leg, the main foot, we're going to do the same thing here at the end by adding a point here and then probably, you know, rounding it out. Might even back some of these off depending upon how it all fits together, but I think that's fine for the moment. I'm going to also just round off that point a little bit first as well. This way, not so much that way. Alright, this will be the beginnings, and we can always come back to frame 0 to readjust the shape. What I want to do is start pinning these things to certain bones. So this main foot will go, of course, I'm going to put the whole thing here to start with. We'll go back and readjust these for different areas. The ankle, of course, we're going to mainly pin all that together to these points. And then the toe, I don't want to layer binding anything, even though I could layer bind it and make it work just fine. I just want to make sure that I can change that easily later. And so the claw, which we'll change the name of, I think, will be bound, of course, to all these points here. Let's go ahead and change this to claw. Cool. So now when we move this, we should get some decent results. Let's turn the power off on all these bones first, though. And let me just grab all the bones. We'll just pull the strength down completely. That way they don't warp each other out, which you want in some cases, but not in this one. And I can now move this. I can now move this. And now move the toe. And of course, the nail. Now the whole point of doing that is when we go back here and look at our animatic that starts, you know, somewhere here like this. The foot will be off screen. So we're just going to decide on that first. And we'll be back in our bone layer there. And we're going to I think I can just manipulate the bone up. Yep. So that will be down here. And we got to make sure that this first frame also is off the screen. So this will, okay, I'm not sure why we're getting that. Let's get rid of, I'm going to take this one and just move it over. Okay, so then we need to make sure by this frame, if the timing's right, we're going to bring our foot down. Click on here to create a keyframe. Something like this. We will click here, creating that keyframe, and so on. So we're going to get that animation. By here, we want everything lower. My proportions are off, so I'm going to have to move this guy back up a little. Something like this. So now it will go. Let's see. This says this here. So you can see how this can really help your timing. If you get the timing right of the animatic, then the timing of this is pretty much automatic. So, and then at this point, that should be on the ground. So we just put that flat, lift this guy up, and if any micro adjustments need to be made, like the foot actually coming up when it meets the surface of the ground and all that, can be done, you know, at that point, later after the fact. So we can just kind of go root, and then obviously that happens there, and then the foot will, and I'm going to go to the frame right before and click all my bones to make sure these are kind of cemented or anchored in that frame in their positions. And then that will hold all the way through. And then this will come up somewhere here. Now I'm going to have to move this anchored position at some point, otherwise that'll be too close, but I get the idea. So perfect. And then the next one will wind up here. There we go. We'll move this guy up and over as well. So there's be some in-betweens and stuff that have to happen there, or make those linear or whatever. So this will come up here, and then eventually we get this position. And this will interpolate all these positions in between. And then eventually the out, which should be about right there. I'm just going to take the whole foot and pull it up and out. And that will be the whole animation, timing and all. So if I turn off our animatic, and now we can start working with this. It's not great. And the reason being, I don't think that the toe should be bent down for that. So this will go root. Very strange little bump here that I'm going to just take out. And I got to do that, I believe, for all bones. So we'll just go ahead and kill that. And so on for this set. So now it should just flow. So I'm not even digging that. So at this point, to me that needs to kind of settle down. Well, now we're getting this really weird floating effect, but we're going to go back and check every bone now. So right before this, there should be no keyframe right here. So check that one, that one. It might be the weird rotation. So I think that's some of what's happening here. Because that's supposed to feel like it comes from the back. So in my opinion, we can take this bone and move it over, because this really should be coming from here. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, see, that sudden stop is pretty weird. And those are all should be smooth bones. Smooth movement, smooth keyframes, I mean. I'm tired, folks. Let's see. Almost thinking this one sucks. Let's see. It's okay. But I think this needs to be kind of like a heel. Maybe something in here. Let's see. And then I think the whole bone, the whole foot, may be back. So let's see. Much better. And then lift up, curl, out. Okay, much better. Sorry, I had to work on that timing a little bit. So now we can start tweaking. Yeah, much better. All right. Also, all of these, in my opinion, need to be done all on 2s from the get-go. Making sure they are. It should be everything on 2s. Just going to select every one of these and just find out. All right. I kind of want that to hit the ground, heel, and then down. So I'm going to add an extra bit. Still with the toes flexed a bit. And then this completely down, and hopefully pretty well and then I'll just slide these over. Boom. These should be linear. These should be linear. That way there's no easing in and out. It hits, it stops. These should really be a continuation as well. So these all say linear. These say linear. They should all be linear for sure though. This one looks like it has some that aren't. These as well, because once this foot hits the ground I want it to pretty much stop dead. And then this guy, same. There's a couple here, that one that is out. And once that's good, boom, and then boom. So not bad. It's a little tiny bit of slide I don't care for. The way you take care of that is, I'm going to grab this bone to start with. That also needs to be gone. So now this keyframe for this bone is copied and should paste right over the top of that. That way when it hits it doesn't slide and then it moves. I'm not sure why we're getting that, but I'll fix that real quick. So we select this bone. Okay, that looks okay, I think. We're getting a rotation though that I don't want. So at this point, this says there is in fact a rotation there. So I'm going to get rid of, or copy this rotation is probably the best, and paste it at this one. And then it's coming after though. That's kind of weird. So we'll check it, make sure there's nothing. See, that's what it is this guy right here. And that needs to be made linear. So if you miss one, it's obviously going to have an effect. And it looks like there's still something going on right here again. And here, probably, yep. Once again, not sure why it undid, but it did. I might have done it when I undid it. And nope, still got a weird rotation happening. And that could be from this guy now. And that can be easily fixed by just making sure I come to the other bones at this point. So if I go to here, check the keyframe here, this one could be, you know, rotated up. But I think what we're going to do is mainly on this one, grab it and rotate this up just slightly to compensate for the fact that that's and it maybe needs to be made linear right here as well. And this one too. Because they seem to be kind of fighting. And it's these weird jittery frames that I'm getting. I'm not sure what that's coming from, but we shall fix it. Sometimes it takes some tedious moving stuff around. So, yeah, that's very noisy. I'm just going to go with linear throughout this, see what happens. That noise, I'm not sure what's going on there. It's probably got to do with other keyframes in here that shouldn't be there. Get rid of those ones I just put in there. That seems like a bunch of extras. Check these. Let's go ahead and make all those linear. This one probably should definitely be linear, which it is. Not sure why we're getting this jumbling around look. Let me turn it off of 2s just to 1s for now. Oh, it had to do with the frames on that main core bone. So we put that back to 1. That's fine. Now it works great. So it comes up, and then as this leaves, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. We're going to put a keyframe in here somewhere. It still keeps that toe bent. Not sure what just happened there. Oh, this is killing me. I think, actually that's not going to work, and I need to be able to move this bone without the other ones moving. Anybody know how that works? Let me know. I want to lock this bone in place, and I kind of don't think there is a lock bone for it, if you know what I'm saying. Freeze selected bones. Then I can come to this one. Nope, see, because it's not. Well, I guess it is. Let's freeze this bone as well. And this one. That way when I move this one, it will only move that one, I hope. But I didn't freeze that one for whatever reason. Freeze selected bone. Freeze selected bone. Freeze selected bone. Is this not working? And it is not. I mean, it works. It's just not. That weird shift through here is bugging. Just seems like this is a bit not as clean as it should be. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to adjust that. And this. I don't know why you can't isolate that bone movement. Seems a little weird. I thought you could. I'll have to check into that. Hopefully you guys are doing well and enjoying the video. Let me know if you are or not. So this comes down, and this will very sloppily, I hope not. That's already a little bit low. I know I'm being nitpicky, but it's fine. Cool. So now let's get the actual foot shape, and I need to make a couple layers, like 3 more toes behind this one as well. They will all be bound to the same bone in the same way. But let's get the first toe kind of drawn. Let's do the foot or the ankle. I'm just going to put like a hairy leg. It's really all this is about. So I'm going to go back to frame 0. And we're going to just add some points to the leg. I'm going to add some peaking to that. And get these guys drug up into a much more appropriate shape. Start bowing some of these out. Oops. This better. Let's go ahead and pull this guy in, this guy out. And adding just a little peak, or a little curve, I should say, to that one. To be honest with you, I probably should have just drawn these shapes. But now that I got the timing right, I can go back and do that. So what I will do is leave that one there. I'm going to take another vector above it. I'm going to put this new leg, or leg new. And on this one, the old one, I'm just going to come in and fade that out by, by a good 50% or so I can see what it is. You can also hide it. I don't know how I got that up to here. I must have skipped over onto my other screen again. So we're just going to go like 30. Fine. Now I can draw the new one on the new layer. I'm going to use my pen for this so I can actually make this draw like hand drawn. Just something that kind of gets us a better, oops, went the other way, representation of, what this thing should probably look like. Something like that. With this drawn here, grab our create shape. We're going to go ahead and do a connect and create on that. And we'll worry about the color here in a second. It's just kind of a weird green brown. I'm going to bring up my color on my other monitor. You guys don't have to see this, but waiting on it to pick up here. So if you guys are watching, say hey. Still waiting for this to open. I don't know. Well, my drive is slow or something. Something's been going on lately. Need to be having some water and stuff, but I have not been doing that. Go here and grab my image I want to sample some color off of. Any of the ones. We'll just use the original foot. And I'm going to What's going on with me? Oh yeah. Hopefully not stroke. Yeah. Anyway, we'll draw this color. Will be just kind of the main leg body. And I'll start turning off a lot of these lines that are going to be the in-between, or the blend that needs to happen. This, of course, will get tweaked when we know exactly what the foot and all needs to be. Trying to look at my initial main inspiration as well. For this, let me peek that one. Yeah, okay. And this one. I think my pen had some ideas of its own. I'm going to peek some of the ends of these pieces. I don't know what happened here. A little too many points. Get rid of a few extra points here. Alright, so now that's the base leg. We're going to go and delete the original leg. Should be fine. Now the leg new will get rebound to the bone, the ankle bone. And all of that should still work fine. I'm just testing this on frame 0. So that all still works. So now the main foot, we will make a new layer for it. And the artwork you can swap out like this, not worrying about the old artwork, because what you've animated are the bones at this point. You can do point animation on these layers as well, but that's not what we've done. Okay, so now I'm just going to draw out essentially my hairy foot. Kind of a thing. Going to go ahead and just draw this around. Not beautiful on any level. I'll let this sort of make a mess of it as much as possible. I'm going to delete that main foot layer. Whoops, I drew it on the wrong layer. Let's undo it, put it on the new one. That would help. I can draw this better anyway, so it's kind of some type of a foot that I can finish out here. That will be adjusted, obviously. And with that, these two are not connected, but that's alright, because you can just come in, select the whole thing, stroke both, connect and create, and you're good to go. Now we can delete the main foot layer, and then attach the new one to the bone. Boom. Okay, much better. Looks like the Grinch. So toes are going to be redrawn as well. So toe 1, we're gonna go ahead and make a new layer. It's gonna be toe new. And draw a toe. So this is gonna be like come through here and make some hairy bits, and I don't know, something like that. We can go back and adjust all of that. Probably nothing like I actually wanted to do, but it's fine. And then in here we will click it, do the connect and create. Adjust the points around now because they're not great. I don't know why, but the Scooby-Doo theme song is running through my mind. There could be worse songs. Not gonna think of them, not gonna think of them. Okay, there we go. There we go, it's fine. All these will get adjusted and perfected over time. But for right now, just trying to give this a rounded, kind of a rounded end here. Probably should pull this down and turn it. And in fact, let's delete that one. Move this one to the middle. Much better. Then we can delete these lines or hide these edges, as it is called here. Might need a couple more here and there, but for the moment it should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and delete this toe layer. The old one, the new one now gets bound to the toe. So we'll just say yes and click. And that is a pathetic looking toenail. So I'm going to see about keeping the claw that we have and just moving the points around to better mimic what I've got. That is already 10 times better. We'll sharpen this one up because Wendigo claws are sharp, folks, in case you didn't know. At least that's what I've seen, I've been told. Let's add another point here. That way I can adjust the other one a little better. I think that's fine for now. I'm going to grab a color for this dude. These are just base colors, you know, right now. And then we have that, which looks mighty green on this monitor compared to my other monitor. You can see the difference here. But I guess they are right on that monitor. They'll look different on the other as well. And, but remember, without a background, it's hard to tell what anything looks like. So when this comes down, it's going to be like so. Boom, boom. It's going to curl around. The ground will have to be in another spot, obviously, a little lower. Which I think is fine. Okay, so now we're going to go back and draw in all of our lovely kind of detail lines, shadow. So I'm going to do shadow and highlight first. So the foot portion, I'm going to come in here and just go another vector layer, call it shadow. And not sure exactly where this should be, but approximation. I'm trying to stay off the toe layer, and we could have duplicated the foot. You know what? Let's go ahead and just do that. This one is not turning or anything. This is a much simpler way of doing it. I can show you. Whoops. Escape. Undo. This foot new will just duplicate it. And this will be shadow. And then we can come in and select the color. Then select the sample the shadow color from the other image. The whole thing's going to turn dark, but then I come in with my eraser and start cutting away all the things that shouldn't be here. All the way over just to make sure. And then we can take our color here and get rid of the stroke that's on there because there should not be one. Okay, perfect. Now we do the, yeah, and that looks good. In fact, let's go and the only problem with doing it this way is you have to go back and put it on as a multiply. You'll see. That way it'll be dark, but let's go with multiply. And then I can come here with my opacity, knock it way back. Dang it. 30. That's not bad, but let's do even darker. Something here. That way we get our strokes showing through still. Cool. Now the leg needs the same treatment. It's going to be back, this whole back side. We'll just take that one, duplicate it, write shadow on it. And we do have to pin these to the bones still, bind them. But this shadow layer, we're going to grab it, and I'm going to sample my shadow. I don't know why that's not showing up. I'm going to delete this layer. So I'm going to take my leg new and duplicate it because maybe I just made a new layer. We'll call it shadow again. And spelling schmelling. Going to turn off the stroke. Turn it dark. I don't know why this isn't showing up. Oh, because I'm sampling it from the wrong page. So I'm going to sample this from the actual screen. There we go. And then I can come in here with my eraser tool and get rid of everything that shouldn't be there, like before. Just trying to do this in a one stroke kind of a thing instead of having to do multiples to get rid of it. So there's that. And then we're going to do the toe the same way. And the claw. So we're going to duplicate the toe. Right, shadow. Select the toe color. Sample it. And then erase it. That one doesn't need much. I don't even think I should have taken it that much. Probably just kind of keep it like this. Turn that stroke back off, obviously. Deselect, go back to my eraser. And now it's getting weird. Let's go ahead and select that, turn the stroke off. Okay, it's getting weird. And then the claw, duplicate, shadow. Now these can be put on the same layer. I just like to keep them separate if I can. So here's the claw, shadow. We're going to sample that and make sure the stroke is off of that one. And erase it the same way. We only need to erase like part of it. There we go. It works for me. I'll add a highlight later. Now we go back in and put all the drawy lines and whatnot. So the leg. Let's grab our stroke tool. I'm trying to look at my reference from the before section of this. So I'm just putting in some random kind of hair flow. And thing is, I didn't do my shadow on that leg as a multiply. So now I'm going to have to back it way off and hope I get the right color. That's going to work. 46, I'll just have to remember 46. Shadow on the foot should be the same, multiply 46, which it is. And the shadow here, it needs to be on multiply 46. Shadow multiply 46. This leg news should not be in the shadow. This should be on leg news. So making sure I didn't undo that real quick on this claw. Multiply 46. We'll just say okay. So I'm going to go back here to leg new, not shadow. Draw in my hairs. A lot of detail we could throw in here if we wanted to, but I'm trying to keep this quick. Because I am running a little slow on stuff here, so need to get finished as soon as I can on this guy. The client's been very patient with me, so that's good. Great artist that I like working with. Okay, we're gonna just kind of go with that for the moment. I can draw in some other bits. I'm gonna do the same thing on the foot now. The foot's gonna have some toe lines and some stuff like that too. A little bit of the hairs coming down. See where this starts and ends. I'm gonna go in here and turn on my leg, not this one, but the quick settings, and turn on the paths. That way I can see it under everything else, supposedly. I don't see it happening though, which is a little weird. Normally you should be able to see the paths when you're not sure why it's not showing them. Shows them there. I am not seeing, maybe when you click here you can see it, but if I'm on the foot though, that path, okay, there they are. Good, good. So now, unfortunately it's not showing when I'm on the tool I need, so we're just gonna have to work with that. I'm just gonna do some lines here, things like so. Don't feel like I'm being my best artist self. I'm very tired today. Had a long night for a couple of reasons, so. Wrist is doing some funky stuff. Lots of undos and redos there. Till I find a good kind of angle that I'm using, I guess. Those should all go together. The only thing that's not working is the nail shadow. So the claw shadow needs to be selected and then bound with ye old claw bone. So now all that will work together. Good, good. Works for me. I just need a little bit of shading in some spots up here. So the shadow of the leg, the shadfo, as I wrote, just needs a couple of bits drawn and added to it. Could use our blob brush, which is always handy. Like if I wanted to throw some shadow in there, then I can come in here and grab that inside ring and just delete it. And then push these around a bit. kind of take these pieces and paste some in, change their shapes around.
I have to go to the post office.
You want me to go?
Huh?
Yeah. Do you want me to go?
No, you've got work to do. I can do it. I'll be back in it.
No, I'll go.
Huh?
I'll go.
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Delete this and peek this. Pull this one in. Cool. Alright, so essentially, guys, that's the foot. I just need to obviously draw the ground correctly in there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the leg paths. Oops. We don't need to be seeing that. It doesn't render, but I don't want to be distracted by it any longer. Now we turn this off, we should get just a nice clean drawing. And so basically when we play it, we get the stepping in and then the stepping out. Cool. I need to save this real quick, but thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back with another video later on, and talk to you later.